future success.
Okay, Wonga.com is an internet-based payday loans company. It was launched by Errol Damlin and John T. Hurwitz in 2006. Their mission statement is to solve consumers' occasional urgent and short-term cash flow problems with equally short-term solutions. They initially found difficulties in obtaining funding and experienced high default rates, but they used their initiative, research, and technology innovation to overcome this. Today, their profits stand at around £60 million. Although highly financially successful, they have Wonga's high interest rates and APR of over 5,000 have earned them a reputation of exceedingly bad ethical practice in CSR. So for example, if you borrowed £1 from Wonga and wanted to pay it back tomorrow, you would owe them £6.57 after 1 day. So the problem is, what if you can't pay it back? Wonga vowed that they are responsible and only give short-term loans to people who have been assessed and can afford to pay back the loans in the required time frame. However, this promise is not always being carried out. So today we see multiple people who are trapped within the ever-growing debt of Wonga.com.
This lack of CSR originates from Wonga's management. Damlin originally said that the goal was to disrupt the short-term credit industry by providing transparency, exact control of demand and payment date, immediate access of funds, and no faxing and emailing documents. This supports the notion that management will focus on their productivity and undoubtedly their financial benefit from the stock. The social implications of their business practice were immediately ignored. In a speech, Ed Miliband told the story of a mother who was down to her last lecky, so took out a payday loan. However, she's now experiencing bullying and harassment, receiving 15 calls daily. These highlights the impact of irresponsible lending as well as the industry's lack of concern for customers. This speech creates negative publicity for Wonga and their competitors and augmented their reputation for unethical behavior. Furthermore, one of the Wonga's TV efforts was banned as it was considered irresponsible. It gave the impression that their loans do not require much consideration. These may have caused individuals to unconsciously use Wonga and acquire rapidly growing debt that they can't pay back. However, although their lack of CSR is apparent, Wonga is financially thriving. The payday lender's financial results for 2012 confirm that in 6 years, their post-tax profit rose 36% to 62.5 million, and 4 million loans totaling 1.2 billion pounds were given to over 1 million customers. By formulating a SWOT analysis, we can clearly establish and analyze the internal and external factors supporting their current position and their future prospects. In strength, they have financially beneficial system in place, rejecting 2/3 of applied applicants as bad credit risks. Furthermore, Wonga offers a service that banks cannot provide. Their impressive turnover means that the same £200 may earn them £15 6 times a day. 6 times a year, sorry. Their service is faster and more direct than competitors, and they have acquired multiple awards. Finally, their marketing strategy to targeting young, aspiring adults was very successful. Conversely, their largest weaknesses is their bad reputation and lack of CSR. This includes their bad publicity and reality that any negative material will remain eternally accessible. They also charge a huge fee for delayed payment, which will be deterring potential customers. So what are their opportunities? Although they lack overall CSR, Wonga has introduced like Kiva initiative, which hands people the ability to give small loans to entrepreneurs in the developing world. This could potentially help them build a more positive ethical reputation and differentiate themselves from competitors. They could also expand by providing long-term loans or short-term loans for companies. their current financial position could allow them to grow and further globalize in other countries. Finally, Wonder have many threats that endanger the company's future. Firstly, their lack of CSR has given them an extremely bad ethical reputation and will deter many potential customers. They also face enormous competition from companies such as QuickFlip and Quick Cash. Due to their low CSR, customers will lack loyalty towards Wonder if their competitors offer better interest rates. Furthermore, Wonder's employees are unlikely to feel loyal or motivated, as the company is financially driven and they may feel potentially unethical. These could cause them to leave out of guilt or just lack of motivation, as they won't be experiencing emotional reward or a sense of value within the company. Wonder's bad debt may increase as more people cannot afford their growing interest rates. Finally, the demand for Wonder's loan is highly dependent on the economy. Therefore, as we emerge from the recession, their services will not be widely required and Wonder may face huge issues.
Okay, now Lush. Lush is a British cosmetics company. It was established in 1994 by Mark and Noel Constantine. Their first shop opened in Poole in the same year. They have successfully benefited from globalization and evolved from one shop to a number of 438 stores around the world, including North America, Japan, Australia. Their main rivals are The Body Shop and Boots. The two main reasons they are widely recognized for is firstly, their unique, innovative, and natural goods. Their shops emit strong smells of their fragrant products and offer an array of colors that are eye-catching to the passers-by. Secondly, they are renowned for their focus on CSR. They have numerous campaigns on animal testing, human rights, animal protection, and charity. They also have a large number of innovative and iconic campaigns that they use to help and give back to society. Lush has a diverse set of values. For example, we invent our products and fragrances. We make them fresh by hand using little or no preservative or packaging, using only vegetarian ingredients, and tell you when they are made. So the company tries to make a difference in the world using campaigns for, as I said, animal protection, human rights, environmental issues, charities, and creative buying. Creative buying, which means using the best natural ingredients and recycled packaging.
Okay, on to the business outcomes of Lush. Well, they won a large variety of awards for their business, and for their environmental considerations. Since 2007, both their profit and turnover have doubled, and this is despite going in the recession. Last year, their post-tax profit was up 42% to almost £5.5 million, and their turnover was up 25% to over £50 million. So the reasons for Lush's success, well, as you can see from these images, they have very high-profile campaigns. On the bottom right there, that was a woman who has hooks through her skin, and that was in protest against slaughtering sharks. And on the bottom left, that was a 10-hour sort of mock torture that was gone through in their Regent Street store by this woman who was sort of force-fed, forced injections, and all that sort of stuff, and that was against animal testing. Campaigning this sort of way is very beneficial for them, brings them very good publicity about the causes they're trying to promote, and also provides a positive light on their company. Control of the company. Well, Mark and Mo Constantine still run Lush, meaning that the original ethical vision of an organic cosmetic company is still retained. It also means that they don't have to consult investors about any of their business decisions or environmental and ethical considerations. Lush also benefit from a very incentivised and motivated workforce. The Institute for Personnel and Development released a report in 1997 which said that company performance is significantly boosted when management places a particular emphasis on employee welfare. And this is clearly the case with Lush, who train their staff very thoroughly and encourage their staff to get really involved in their campaigns and everything they stand for. They even have a wish list for employees, which is a sort of silly thing, where they do things like organise weddings for them, but it's all part of the process of making Lush a sort of family-like organisation to work for. Moving on to a SWOT analysis of Lush. Lush has many strengths. It's a very powerful and widely recognised global brand with a loyal fan base which has been created from their stance against animal testing and their use of organic ingredients in their products. They've created a unique selling point from their corporate social responsibility, which sets them apart from many other the more generic cosmetic companies. In terms of weaknesses, Lush don't have a marketing department. They rely on word of mouth, and they rely on happy customers spreading their word. Surely if they have a marketing department, then their sales will increase. But, Lush's goods also have a 12-month life cycle compared to 36 months for conventional cosmetics, but we don't actually see that as too much of a weakness because most cosmetics are consumed within a year, and also, if anything, it makes their goods seem more real, more genuine. In terms of opportunities, well, the world and consumers are increasingly concerned about corporate social responsibility, and Lush really fits in here with their stance on organic stuff. Lush are also part of a very profitable industry. The UK cosmetics industry was valued at £8 billion last year, and having ridden out the recession, Lush's opportunities for greater sales are clearly there as people's disposable income increases. In terms of threats, well, the main threat from Lush is competition, especially in the form of Body Shop, which is about 10 times the size. I think had a turnover of about £500 million last year, and profit of 50 million, which is significantly more than Lush's £4 million.
Therefore, as a whole, it is apparent that there is a stark contrast between the CSR executed by these two companies. Although Wonga is financially successful, their everyday ethical practice is poor, thus they have adopted an overall negative reputation. Oppositely, Lush clearly shows a great focus on CSR and an innovative and proactive attitude in regard to their social, environmental and ethical practice. Consequently, their present reputation will impact hugely on their future success. Although both are currently thriving, I believe that the durability of this success for Lush is more likely than it is for Wonga. This conclusion is a result of their varied CSR paired with Wonga's overriding threats and Lush's abundant opportunities. As Garcia, Crespo and Rodriguez del Bosque said in their Journal of Business Ethics, the perception of socially responsible behaviour has a direct and positive influence on consumers' loyalty towards the firm. Therefore, taking this hypothesis into account, consumer loyalty towards Lush is a lot stronger than that of Wonga. A vast amount of Lush's customers have somewhat formed an emotional connection with their brand via its CSR, which will, in turn, retain their loyalty and the company's success for the future. Conversely, Lush has not elicited a sense of brand loyalty in their customers, as they haven't given consumers a reason to feel faithful to the company. Furthermore, another reason behind my prediction of the failure of Wonga and continued success of Lush is the present and future economic situation of the UK. The current economic recession has a huge contribution to Wonga's success, as the average working class man is struggling more than ever to secure employment and cover living costs without the aid of a payday loan. However, inevitably, the UK will emerge from this situation, and the need for Wonga services will become somewhat redundant to their current customers due to its standing as an inferior good. Oppositely, Lush will benefit from a positive change in the economy, as society will have more surplus cash to spend on Lush's luxury goods. Wonga's income elasticity of demand is much higher than that of Lush, as Lush have already proven that they can still regain success in an economic recession. Therefore, Lush has greater economic security than Wonga and are likely to retain profitability in the future. Another likely prediction for the future is that competition will increase for both companies. Therefore, the necessity of CSR will become greater in order to gain a competitive advantage. Lush already has this competitive advantage established through CSR, whereas Wonga will struggle immensely if future competitors are seen to employ greater CSR. This may in turn force Wonga to pursue greater ethical practice, as suggested by the game theory. In Rutgers University Journal of Law and Urban Policy, Butler and Park explain, game theory posits that even if socially responsible behaviour is not in the corporation's immediate self-interest, the corporation may be induced to act in a socially responsible manner because its competitors do so. This is likely to be the case for Wonga, as they are already showing evidence of this via their Kiva initiative. Finally, I strongly believe that the awareness and importance of CSR to society will continue on its upward trend into the future. As our knowledge develops, concerns for the environment, society and ethical practice will grow, and more consumers will incorporate CSR into purchasing decisions. Generation Y and Z will have and will grow up with a much greater exposure to global issues via the media. Therefore, CSR will be more likely endorsed and appreciated. Consequently, Lush is likely to thrive, whereas the growing negative reputation of Wonga will become even more damaging and can ultimately lead to the company's failure if serious action is not taken. Overall, it is evident that CSR plays a huge part in the predicted future success of these companies and their current reputation. The lessons that can be learned from Lush and Wonga's experience about links between CSR and business outcomes include improved customer loyalty with an enhanced CSR. It is evident, via their experiences, that highly negative or positive performances of CSR create publicity for the businesses. However, Wonga has taught us that many consumers don't currently consider CSR when deciding whether to use their services. Thus, their CSR presently has little negative impact on their business outcomes. Nevertheless, this link will change as society's knowledge of the impact of businesses grows, and CSR plays a larger role in purchasing decisions. Although both companies are financially successful at present, as external factors change, Wonga will ultimately suffer from its overriding threats, whereas the opportunities, security, and power that CSR has given Lush will enable them to further succeed and expand into the future.